You know the time.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? This is first period, right? You know, one of the things about being a college teacher is that I haven't had to teach an 8 o'clock class in a long time. And in the fall I have to, so it's always fun. I come from Youngstown, which is not very far. And in my career, I've not only been a university teacher, but I also taught public school. And I have 3 children, all of which are, I think, terrific musicians. My oldest son, Matthew, plays trombone very well, but his favorite thing to do continues to do is play rock and roll guitar. And my daughter, Claudia, graduated last year from high school, and she's in college and plays the flute. And my son, Brendan, is a freshman at Pullman High School, and he plays the French horn. So my wife's a saxophonist, and I'm a recovering percussionist. So I'm half of both my friends in the back. It's great to be here. I come from Youngstown, as you probably know. And I've been teaching for 30 years, which is a lot older than any of you. And in those 30 years, I also taught middle school and high school, and I did a lot of different things. I enjoyed hearing you play this morning, and there's a few things I would like to do if you'd be gracious enough to do that. Basically, we play what kind of instruments? How do we categorize them? All except my friends in the back. Yes? All right. And how do we make sound on all these instruments? Wind instruments. All right? Wind instruments. So that necessitates that we do what? Move air. All right? Move air. And I'm sure you've heard this a million times because it's preeminent in tone production. So could we play a B-flat scale? Would you mind? All right. Could they do that? B-flat concert. 2 beats per note. B-flat scale. All right. And let's slur them. So we are going to connect when you need to take a breath. Do that. So 2 beats per note. 2. Ready. Air. Right. I want you to think about put your instrument where it's not going to fall. All right. I don't want to be responsible. I don't have enough money to fix all of these. All right. Put one of your hands on your diaphragm, which is right below your rib cage, and we're going to sizzle. All right. We're going to sizzle, hold, and we're going to go. Ready? In. Now we're going to sizzle warm air. Sizzle cold air. Now sizzle warm air. Now what do you suspect might be better? And I'm sure you've heard this. So one of the cool things about bringing clinicians is teachers always feel good because they say the same thing. So more than likely all day today, you and your friends, I'm going to share the same information. So sizzling warm air, what happens? I'm sorry? Yeah, and more full, right? So let's try with the same concept. Put your hand there. I want you to sizzle cold air. Ready? And. Now sizzle warm air. What's the difference? This is the key to being a windler, yes. Right? It's faster. Is the volume of it the same? What probably happens to the sound when we sizzle and play with warm air? Right, it's fuller, bigger, more sonorous. So we're learning how to do this. All of you haven't played it very long, right? About 2 years maybe? All right, so let's play that B-flat major scale. 2 beats per note. We're going to slur with the feeling that you have when you sizzle this up. The best posture that you can possibly get. You're very handsome, attractive people. Be proud to be a musician. Here we go. 2. Ready, big air, and B-flat. Play with the cold air. All right, play with the cold air. Same note. Ready, air. Now fill up this beautiful auditorium. Gorgeous school. What a nice place this is. Here we go on a sunny Friday. B-flat with a sizzle warm air. Think of the sensation. What's the difference, folks? If you were going to just squish it, but is it as musical? So I want you, because I've learned in my life that if I don't know the difference, I'm a stubborn mule. Okay? I'm not going to change on anything until I really believe that it's the right thing for me to do. Okay? So we're going to try something. I want you to play on 4 quarter notes on B flat. Now we're going to, the first time, we're going to kind of stop the sound. And the second time, we're going to play, the air is going to keep moving, but the tongue is just going to interrupt the sound. Is that a deal? All right, here we go. So the first time, we're going to purposely stop the sound. Concert B flat, quarter. 1, 2, ready, 3.